Mistakes podcast. This is your host, Trades for Days. This is week 1, and I don't know about you guys, but boy, am I happy that it is here. Now, me losing in almost every league this week, that sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't complain. It is here. I'm happy. I'm living it. I gotta take notes. I gotta do a pod. I gotta feel that I don't ever get to feel unless fantasy football is on, because it's the real deal. I live my life through them. No, I'm just kidding, kind of. But let's start this off. I'm gonna go with this is the last time I'm gonna say this. I want to congratulate Pedro on winning the championship last season. This is the last time I'm going to say it. I just want to get that out of the books. Congratulations to you. It is a new season. That is in the books. That is in the past. Bye-bye. Now it is game time, where the real shit matters. You know what I mean? It's game time. My back hurts. I gotta stretch out. All right. I want to start off with my first impressions on everybody's team. I'm going to go through this real quick. Just tell you my thoughts on it. Don't take it personal. This is just my original thought. Some of it's kind of before the week started, so it's just kind of like you're based off your draft or some guys that was on your team, some weak links that I see on your team. But I mean, I'm wrong. My team didn't do very good this week. So what do you know? What do you do? What do you do? I do what I do. Start with Blake, Dookie Squad. I'm going to say your team's probably top tier. You're one of the best teams in the league. I'll give you that. Overall, you look really good. You got some stud running backs in CMC, Barkley, and Etienne. You don't have a star. I mean, no star wide receiver, but still you have multiple wide receiver ones on teams. So, I mean, multiple. You got depth on your team. You got top 5 tight end and Waller. You got middle of the pack QB, but he's got some huge upside if they have a good season. And, their defense doesn't destroy every team all season long, because, you won't really need to pass if your defense is beating everybody. But I'm really high on your team. Aaron, AP 15. Your team looks middle of the pack. Stud and Eckler, tons of young talent. You got a lot of rookies on your team. There's a whole lot of upside right there. So you got that going for you. You got a top tier quarterback in Burrow, even though he had a very crappy week 1. You got a potential to be probably a top 5 team. We're gonna go with Pedro. Your team kind of looks middle of the pack as well. You got some solid running backs, a stud wide receiver, Adams and St. Brown. You're very Lions heavy. I don't know how I feel about that. Of course, you are expecting them to go to the Super Bowl, so you got that going for you. I'm just not very high on your team as it is, but you tend to surprise me each year with your team. I don't know how from your initial draft, I'm usually not like crazy about it, but you seem to make it work. So I can't crap on it. Stroker Race, which is Logan. I'm sorry, but you are a bottom tier team. Your drafting skills was not, it didn't look good. Maybe you know something I don't. Maybe you're going to sneak one over us all. You did draft Tua very early, and look, shit. He had a really great season. First game. So there's that. You got a solid running back. You just have solid guys all around, but you're just missing the top tier studs that you really need. And then you just lost J.K. Dobbins, which really hurts. But like I said, you have Tua. You're going to need to make some trades. If you don't and you manage to perform really well this season, it'll surprise me. But I'm rooting for you, Logan. I promise you. I'm not saying this dogging on you. I'm saying this because I am rooting for you, and I want you to. I'd even like to see you in the Super Bowl against me, But it is what it is. It is is what it is. Stewie, Stephen Lott, the Lott Lizard. You look like a middle of the pack team as well, lacking some running back depth, but you have a stud and Chubb. You got good wide receivers and a lot of depth. I mean, you got a lot of depth in the wide receiver position. You got a top tight end in Andrews, and you got a good quarterback. I would look to maybe trade some of that depth away for another top tier receiver, but whatever. Then you got Sheldon Sturgill. I think you're a middle of the pack to top. You're right in between, in my opinion, of the pack. And then you have a stud in Bijan. He looks incredible. You got some really good running back depth. You have a stud in Jamar. Good solid wide receiver. I mean, I'd say wide receiver depth. You got you guys to fit your team. You got a top maybe 7 tight end in Goddard now. I mean, you don't have a top quarterback, but again, you got good running back depth, and you got guys to play with, so you can always make something happen. You might not even need anything to really happen, but going on to Sheldon Joyce, top tier team. I mean, after I looked at it again today, I was like, wow. I mean, stud QB and Herbert, stud running back and Pollard, top wide receivers and AJ Brown, Chris Olave. Not a lot of depth on it. I think you got one of the best starting lineups as a whole, but you have nothing on your bench. So if something was to happen, you will be needing to do something. But of course, there's waiver wires and things like that. You can always make something happen. Bend over and take it. Chad, top tier team. Studs and Henry and Mixon at running back. You got Tyreek. What a great week. And Calvin Ridley, who, you told me you were really high on him. I'm really high on him. I think him and Lawrence are going to be great. I wish I could have traded for him before that game, but it is what it is. Solid QB and Fields. You might need to look at something different because that offense doesn't look like it's passing much. You don't have a top tight end. Little depth at wide receivers, so you got something to work at or deal with. Back in with Biden, which is Brandon. I think you're middle of the pack. Stud and Hurts at QB, a solid running back in Connor. Great receiver and Diggs, a top 5 tight end, and TJ Hockey. Good depth in wide receiver, but you need some running back help for sure. Might get with Sheldon with that. Chris Garza, you got one of the better quarterbacks. I know after last night you might not think that, but Josh Allen, stud and Cooper Kupp once he comes back, and Devontae Smith. But everyone else just solid. I think you are kind of closer to the bottom, but in the middle. I still put you in the middle of the pack, but you're closer to the bottom. You're really gonna have to get some talent on that team. Trades for Daves, which is me. Middle, I think I'm middle to top tier. And I say that because I know I'm biased. You're like, oh yeah, of course you're going to be behind your team. I mean, you drafted them. Well, I do. I think at QB, I've got a really good quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. Now, that's if he plays up to expectation that I have. But even then, he's a middle of the pack quarterback. I got good running backs. Yes, some of them are out for several weeks, but once I have all my team back and healthy, hopefully, I don't have too many weaknesses except now at tight end. I got stud receivers in Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and DK. I got good depth at QB. I got a bunch of high upside. It's going to be a struggle. I'm going to lose a lot of early games, I'm sure, because I'm just going to be sitting and waiting on guys and hoping that they come back. And if they don't, then I'm probably bottom tier to middle tier. But you know me, I'm going to make trades. I'll probably screw up my entire team, or I'm going to fix my entire team. We're going to see, you never know with me. I'm wild card. Austin, I think you're a middle tier team, middle to top. Top QBs in my home. You got good running backs in Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Tyler Algier, Cam Akers. Akers didn't have a great of game, but you still have that running back, so you do have some depth there. Good wide receiver in Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Jordan Addison. Top tight end in Kelsey. And then, of course, your Cowboys D. What a freaking week for them. And that is what I think of everybody's team. That's my first impression. I would go into trade targets, but it's getting kind of late, so I'm just going to go into the matchups and cover that. And then get this moving. I don't want this one to be that long of a pod because I'm tired. All right, we'll start with Dookie Squad versus AP 15 with AP 15 Aaron getting the win. Let's go. Even with Joe Burrow having a very bad week. So Aaron gets the win with Austin Eckler having a great week, 26.4. Garrett Wilson had an amazing catch last night with 14.4. Not a great week, but still, I mean, you're glad to see him be a fucking stud. Michael Pittman with 23.7. I didn't see that coming, I'll be honest. Eagles defense with 15. You beat Dookie Squad, who had CMC with 25.9. Barkley kind of fell a little short, 9.3. Hopkins 13.5. Boy, did he get targeted. I mean, it looked like they were looking at him constantly. Travis Etienne with 21. He had a great week. Deion Jackson doesn't look the part at all. Aaron, I was going to give you the rookie mistakes of the week, but since you won, can't really do that because you had Jacoby Myers with 29.1 on your bench. Like I said, can't do it. You ended up winning anyways. Aaron, Blake, you might be up there. You might be the rookie mistakes. It's tough to say with the Jets with 21 freaking points on your bench, and you started the Seahawks with 1. I ain't guaranteeing it yet, but damn, yeah, it just might be you lost by 2. So tough to say. Going over to Stroker Race and Dead Rabbits, you have Logan versus Pedro. Pedro gets the dub, 107-84. Pedro with Jared Goff 14, Ramondre Stevenson 14.9, Madison 13.4, Devontae Adams 12.6, St. Brown 19, Montgomery 13. I mean, you didn't have anybody really go off outside of St. Brown, but you had everyone pretty well showed up on your team and even your bench. Jesus. Mac Jones 24, Purdy 16, P. Ryan 11. Damn. Yep. I don't like I said, I don't see nobody out just crazy spectacular on your team, but I mean, besides Adams and St. Brown, but I mean, everyone shows up. As long as that keeps happening, consistency, man, you're gonna get some wins regardless of what I think. Sugar Race, like I said, you're gonna need to do something about your team, but on the bright side, Tua with 27. If it's me, I'm trying to trade him. I'm trying to do something with that because I don't know how many more games of about 466 yards and 3 touchdowns you're gonna get, but damn, he looked good. You had J.K. Dobbins, who looked great, 11.7, outside of, a season-ending injury. T. Higgins was 0. That sucked, but so did everybody in that Cincinnati game. Frymuth with 7, and T. Bass with 13. Your bench, Matthew Stafford 14. Nothing else really going there for you. And we have Shelky getting the dub over Lot Lizard Stewie, 101-104. Even with Geno only get 9, I gotta say that because Stewie with Lamar Jackson only had 6, so you both got kind of lucky there. Bijan with 20, he looked incredible. I'm pretty hyped about him. Hopefully he stays healthy. Brian Robinson 13.6, he got a bulk load of that work. Dicker, the kicker, with 12, and the Commanders with 13. On your bench, you had Russell Wilson with 15. I was almost going to give you rookie mistakes of the week, but you ended up pulling out the dub. So, Lot Lizard, you might be there. You might just be there. You had Nick Chubb with 16. Brandon Ayuk with 32.9. You might need to do something. I mean, not necessarily, but if it's me, Ayuk, I'm flipping him for some depth. Sure, you're not doing too bad. You got some depth. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You had Mark Andrews out, so there's that. When one of your top positions is out, can't really give you rookie mistakes. I think I'm gonna have to wait on that. Here's the best matchup of the week. You had Bend Over and Take It, Chad versus Sheldon Joyce, which is just Sheldon Joyce. We're gonna need to do something. We're gonna need to change that name. That's all I gotta say. 153.54 to 136.62. Damn, Sheldon, if you played anybody else, you'd win by a landslide. But Chad, Justin Fields is surprising. Only 14 points, but yet you put up that many freaking numbers. Derrick Henry, 13. Joe Mixon, 10. Tyreek Hill, 44.5. Calvin Ridley, 24. Jake Elliott with 17. The Ravens defense with 12. On your bench, I mean, you had guys pretty well. Looked pretty good for you too. 14 Derek Carr, 10 James Cook. Darnell Mooney with 15. Then you have Sheldon Joyce, Jay Herb with 20, Pollard 22, Ken Walker 10, A.J. Brown 14, Olave 19, Sanders 11, Jake Moody 14, and the Saints D with 10. I mean, jeez, that sucks to put up that great of a week and not get the dub. Then you had, I didn't realize that Blake got the win on this one. Sheesh. Blake gets the win, 101 to 100 against Chris. Blake had Jalen Hurts with 12, James Conner with 12, Stephon Diggs with 26. That's what did it. I didn't realize you had Diggs. Hockey with 11. Oh, this is Brandon, not Blake. My bad. Jalen Waddle with 11 and Jason Sanders with 13. Your bench, you had Nico Collins at 14 and Zay Flowers at 17. Again, I was going to give you the rookie mistakes, but you ended up coming out on top there. Surprise, surprise. Chris Garza had Raheem Mostert with 13, Devontae Smith for 17, Deebo Samuels with 11.3, 49ers with 13. Dang. Nope. I'm going to have to, a 1 point difference right here. You had Deshaun Watson on your bench, who had 20, and you started Josh Allen. I don't know if I can give it to you. I wouldn't have, I can't do that to you. I wouldn't have started him over Josh Allen either, but damn, that sucks. Could have blew him out had you started the other. And then you have Austin against me. And Austin went off on me. I think he had the best week. Yep. Austin had the best week. Or best, score of this week. Patrick Mahomes with 19. Aaron Jones with 26. Keenan Allen 14. Mike Evans 18. Greg Zerline. Why am I missing that? Greg Zerline with 11, and then the Cowboys D with 40, putting up 163.54 points. Put me in the dirt. It is what it is. I'm going to take it on the chin. I could have beat quite a few people had I not played to you, but it is what it is, man. I had Trevor Lawrence with 17, Breece Hall with 15. Boy, did he look good last night. Khalil Herbert with 11, Justin Jefferson with 24, CeeDee Lamb 11. I stupidly started Isaiah Likely. DK Metcalf with 13. What happened to them? And then on my bench, I had Anthony Richardson for 20. That was about it. Austin also had Algier with 24 on this bench. And Jordan Addison with 16. Yeah, I mean, I got to give it up to you. That's a great week one. You could have put even more points up on me. So, best week, I give that to Austin. The worst week, I'm pretty sure, goes to Logan with 84. And those were your matchups. Rookie mistakes. I am gonna have to go with Blake. I can't remember who you had. Oh yeah, Jets defense. I'm playing Jets defense all day over the Seahawks. That's one way you could have won. Deion Jackson, which, there was a little hype. You could have played anybody on your bench over him and you'd win that game. So, I'm sorry, Blake. I have to give it to somebody, and it had to be you. But that is your week 1 matchups, and boy, am I glad it's here. I know this. Sometimes this it's the first pod of the year. Give me a break. I know it's pretty rough. I'm saying a bunch of ooh-oohs and ah-ahs, but it'll get better. All right. It is late. I was planning on doing this tomorrow. Decided just to get it over with, get it done tonight. I'll prime it up for you guys tomorrow morning. But it was interesting. Interesting week 1. Not a lot of touchdowns. A lot of really good teams didn't look good, and a lot of bad teams looked decent enough. Like, what the hell, But that's fantasy football for you. I mean, fantasy football, honestly. I mean, it's just the NFL. You just don't know what you're going to get. Everyone's switching around all the damn time now. You don't really got an idea of what the teams are going to look like. But that is all, guys. Appreciate you all being here, and it'll get better from here. See ya.
Ah, damn. He just got lucky that nobody was fucking here today.